So hello my dear friends, welcome back. Welcome to your channel Cooking Astrology. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for subscribing my channel and liking my videos. Thanks a lot. So let's continue our journey, our discussion of planets through Navamsa Chart in Vedic Astrology. And in this particular video, let's try to understand one of the most mysterious placements of planet Venus. That is Venus placement in the 8th house. First of all, 8th house in Vedic Astrology, specifically the D-9 chart, this is the house of major setbacks into your life. Major setbacks, okay? And how that setbacks are going to be affecting you as a person, whether this is going to be taking a positive or the negative angle, it totally depends over the dignity of that planet. But Venus is naturally the karka and significator of the love life. And it's a feminine graha. It means females are going to giving you some sort of a setbacks in the initial relationships. It doesn't matter first of all you are a male or a female. In case of female as well, your number one negative factor in your chart or the major setbacks, even if you are a female watching this video, is going to be coming from some other female. It's not necessarily it's coming only from the male, because the significance of the planet is going to be bringing that sort of setbacks. Now, depending over the dignity of this Venus, whether it's exalted, debilitated, this have the capacity to then reshape your life into the positive or in the negative side. But one more thing I would like to add on here, benefic planets, specifically Venus, Jupiter, Mercury and even Moon, in the 8th house, they are bound to give positive results. It's a foundation to that graha. This is also the house which is the representation of a drid karmas, or the fixed karmas. Like few things are in your hand to change and few things are not in your hand to gain control over or change certain things into your life. Planets that actually goes into the 8th house or even in the Scorpio Navamsha or in the Aquarius Navamsha, they are actually going to be representing some fixed karmas which are going to be associated with this planet. Although at the same time this Venus is also the significator of the money, wealth and prosperity part, and the positive side of this Venus is actually connected with the money and wealth part. The more and more afflicted your Venus is going to be in the D9 chart, the more amount of prosperity that you are going to be receiving into your life. If on the other hand, if your Venus is not afflicted, by mean to say affliction, Venus is in conjunction with more malefics, or there are more malefic planets that are surrounding Venus, aspecting Venus. So it represents the malefic association. On the other hand, if the Venus is in very pure avastha, pure mean without afflictions, then Venus is going to be imparting spirituality inside you people. And specifically it's the upasana. Upasana mean like you are specifically devoting your complete life towards the upasana of some specific gods or the goddesses. It's the same as I told you, Saturn in the 4th house, you can watch that video. Saturn in the 4th house of D9 is going to make you a Shiv Upasak, like you are worshipping Lord Shiva, irrespective of which caste, creed, culture or background you are going to be. At some point in your life, you will see you are going towards that part. Similarly with Venus, it's a feminine urja. So at some point in your life, you will eventually go towards the feminine urja. Because I told you all the setbacks are also coming through females in the life. I'm not using the word curse here. It depends over many other factors actually. Because Venus in the D1 chart is going to be behaving differently as compared to the D9 chart. But in the 8th house, whether it's the D1 or in the D9 chart, some Devi Upasana or some sort of Tantra Sadhana, mysticism, person that are actually deeply dwelling into the Vedic Astrology or trying to learn the crux of Jyotish, that part is going to be strongly connected with this Venus. Specifically, if the malefic association is very less. So you see on both sides, you are gaining something. But the more difficult part with this Venus is going to be, if suppose you are getting married with someone and you are having Venus in the 8th house, this planet have the capacity to create very mischievous relationships actually. Now, by mean to say mischievous, it's your partner qualities and characteristics I'm talking about. Because this is that house which is the representation of a secrecy as well. So here what is going to be happening, maybe your partner is going to be having initial relationships that actually work into the secrecy, which not many individuals are aware of. And after you being getting married, then you are going to be finding the same pattern. By mean to say same pattern, whatever mischievous or the mysterious relationships which you have gone through into your life before marriage, the same part is going to be happening with you. So both the husband and even the wife, they are bound to have the similar kind of experience. You can also call it as a similar kind of a setbacks that you both are going to be having if you are having Venus placement in the 8th house. Because I told you it's some sort of a drid karma. Drid mean the fixed karmas which are going to be associated with this Venus placement. Next important point, 8th house also represents how both husband and wife, they are going to be managing their finances and specifically the joint asset part. Like how well, how efficient you are going to be doing that part here. And usually most of the times I will tell you, benefic placements in the 8th house, they are not going to be taking the financial journey too seriously, specifically in the initial stages of the life. Whereas on the other hand, if the Venus is in conjunction with some malefic, for example, Venus is posited with Mars in your 8th house, or it may be with some other Saturn. So, or some malefic association, if that is going to be connected with this Venus, these people are going to be taking their financial journey extremely strictly. So, it's going to be very strict when it comes to the financial aspect of the life. On the other hand, if Venus is totally empty or free, then you can call it as a very carefree kind of a person, where individuals, they are not be able to take their financial journey very seriously. The main reason also why this financial aspect is coming with this Venus in the 8th house, because it's the natural significator, natural karka of the 2nd and the 7th house of the Kal Purusha Kundli. Okay, so 2nd house is naturally the wealth aspect of the native, and if it is going into the 8th house, it shows major amount of transformations in terms of financial matters. Okay, only financial matters that are going to be coming after your marriage. When I'm using the word marriage here, it's the actual event of marriage. I'm not talking about casual relationships here. Although initially casual relationships are going to be there, but they are going to be offering you some sort of a purity. So it's like a filtration thing happening. Like you are your own impurities which are present inside you. It may be you are highly stubborn in nature. Maybe you are having a lot of ego, anger, aggression present inside you. Or maybe you are overly sensitive person, overly emotional kind of a personality. And if your Venus is going into the 8th house, then this is going to be acting as a filtration membrane. Like Venus is going to be filtering out all the impurities into your life. And then you are bound to go through such and such kind of a relationships where the individuals that are going to be coming in your life, they are just going to be hitting the most sensitive and the most vulnerable part which is present inside you. Suppose you are very fearful of the love aspect because of some initial love setbacks into your life. Now with Venus in the 8th, you are naturally going to introduce towards that kind of a partners where they are going to be exactly pinpointing over that impurities. It's like that pressing the same button, hitting something which is again and again. You can also relate this thing to the similar kind of experiences at the same time. Specifically, if the Rahu and Ketu axis or the retrogression of the Venus in the D1 chart, if in the D1 it's retrograde and then it's going into the D9 chart. So the impact of retrogression is also going to be very severe with the Venus actually. It's like that you are going to commit the similar kind of a mistakes when it comes to relationships again and again and again. Now you might be thinking like why my life is designed in such a way. It's because of these certain fixations. Because I told you benefics in the 8th house, they tend to act as a bounded planet, like they are completely bound up there. So whatever Venus is going to give you, this is going to give you irrespective of what circumstances that you are going to be doing into your life. I would also like to give you one very important remedy for this Venus actually. If you are watching this video and maybe you are in the initial stages of your life, maybe in the early 30s and maybe early 20s also, rather than looking your relationships from the love perspective, I request you to look your relationships more from the spiritual perspective. Because the main problem with this Venus is of overly attachment. Like Venus don't know up to what extent I need to get attached with someone in terms of the love matters. And that overly attachment with someone is going to be very difficult. And that is the reason if you are taking the path of love in the marriage and the married life aspect, it's not going to be working out properly. Because when you are on a path of love, there are also going to be some set of expectations which you are going to be having from other person. And Venus in the 8th house is going to divide you from that sort of expectations. And that is where when you are taking your journey or looking your marriage and relationships from the spiritual perspective, then Venus automatic response is going to be like that. I'm sitting on the giving end. So Venus, if it sits on the giving end, like you are sitting on the giving end, so you keep on giving love, care, affection, support, these things towards others without the expectations. So it's like I'm not attached with the final outcome. This is the practical advice or the practical remedy which you can follow with this Venus. Because Venus is also very siddhantic and it's a very principle oriented planet. You see in our Vedic tradition or in our Indian tradition, Venus is represented by Lord Shukracharya, Guru Shukracharya. So there is Dev Guru Brahaspati, that is the god of gurus, planet Jupiter, and the god of demons, that is Guru Shukracharya. Now Shukracharya or Venus is having one prominent quality, and that is the quality of stubbornness. Shukracharya is highly stubborn. Okay, now because of that stubbornness factor, what is happening if these people suppose initially received some negative outcomes by going into relationship, then for the next time they will be very cautious. Or sometime they are on that pathway, like if my first marriage is not working out, I will not go for the second marriage because of the pain and sufferings. And that is also the negative consequence of this Venus. Because there is no need for you to become judgmental if your Venus is in the 8th house. So don't think like that, okay, my first relationship is bad and it's not working, so rest are also going to be same. It's not like that. You need to be very open or try to create more and more vacuum with this Venus in your life actually. Creating an emptiness inside you or hollowness inside you will eventually help you to fill something inside you. Otherwise, this placement of Venus is a void. Void means it's a total emptiness which people are going to be experiencing. The reason you are watching this video, yes, you are having Venus in the 8th house, and how you dwell into Vedic astrology is because of this Venus actually. Because I told you Venus in the initial setbacks, they are going to be pushing you towards, okay, then you try to find answers. So how you are going to find answers? It may be through some other occult sciences or maybe Vedic astrology. So you are also bounded to receive the positive result of the Venus. Because the Jyotish Gyan or the astrology Vidya is not going towards every person. There are very few people that are also going to be watching this video. So it's the knowledge which is bound to go towards some specific persons, and that you are watching this video. Okay, so I hope you have gained some deep insights regarding this Venus placement in your 8th house of the D-9 chart. If you are having any queries and any consultations, you can please drop me an email, and I will try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. You can also make sure to subscribe my channel below. Make sure to hit the like button if you really enjoy this video. You can also share my YouTube channel with your friends and family members who are in love with Vedic astrology. And I'm going to meet you very, very soon in the next video. Till then, bye-bye and Hare Krishna.